6 weeks ago, I harvested 14 ounces of saffron from a patch no bigger than a dining room table. At $80 an ounce, that's over $1,100 sitting in a glass jar on my kitchen counter. Meanwhile, my neighbor spent the same 6 weeks driving to the farmer's market selling $3 bundles of basil out of a cooler. More effort, more driving, less money. When I told him what I was growing and how much I'd made, he laughed. He said, "That sounds like something you'd have to be a professional to pull off." But I'm not a professional farmer. I learned this from a woman in her 70s who keeps chickens in her backyard and has been quietly selling rare culinary herbs to high-end restaurants for over a decade. She calls it her invisible income. And once you understand why these specific herbs command the prices they do, and why they're so simple to grow in a small space, you'll never look at your backyard the same way again. Today, I'm walking you through 15 backyard herbs that sell for $80 an ounce or more, and every single one reaches harvestable maturity in 6 weeks or less. I've grown every herb on this list personally. I'll give you exact growing conditions, the right planting windows, and the specific buyers willing to pay premium prices. Stay with me to the end because the last herb on this list is the one most people have never heard of, and it is the highest margin crop on the entire list. Now, before I give you the list, I want to tell you how I actually found these herbs, because it wasn't through a book or a YouTube video. About 2 years ago, I was at a small regional seed swap in my county. Not a big event, maybe 40 people, folding tables, labeled paper envelopes. And I started talking to a woman named Dolores. She was 73. She'd been growing medicinal and culinary herbs on a third of an acre for 32 years. No social media, no Etsy shop, just a laminated price sheet and a short list of restaurants, apothecaries, and wellness companies she'd built relationships with over the years. What floored me wasn't the herbs themselves, it was her reasoning. She said, "I don't grow what's popular, I grow what's scarce and what restaurants can't get reliably from their distributors." That single sentence reframed everything I thought I understood about growing for profit. She wasn't competing with commodity herb growers. She was supplying a completely different market, one that pays by the ounce, not the bundle. A market built on scarcity, specialty, and reliability, and almost nobody is talking about it. That's the gap these 15 herbs live in, and today you're going to see exactly how to fill it. Here's what you need to understand before we get to herb number 7, because this is where the list gets into the really high margin territory. Stay with me because the herbs in the second half of this list are the ones I took the longest to find, and they're the ones Dolores said she'd never publicly share. She gave me permission to include them here, so keep watching. Let's go through each one. For every herb, I'll give you the market rate, growing conditions, time to harvest, and who's most likely to buy it from you. Herb 1, saffron. Market rate $75 to $90 per ounce dried threads. Time to harvest 6 weeks from corn planting in fall. Grow notes. Plant corms 3 to 4 inches deep in well-drained soil. Full sun. Each corm produces 2 to 3 flowers. Each flower yields 3 stigmas. You can harvest meaningful quantities from a 4x4 raised bed. Who buys it? Specialty grocery stores, Mediterranean and Persian restaurants, gourmet food producers. Common mistake, planting in heavy clay, it will rot the corms before they flower. Herb 2, lemon verbena. Market rate, $30 to $45 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 4 to 6 weeks for first harvest from established plant. Grow notes. Grows aggressively once established, highly aromatic, perennial in warm climates, container-friendly everywhere else. Who buys it? Craft cocktail bars, tea blenders, pastry chefs. Differentiator. Almost never available fresh at wholesale. Direct supply to a single craft cocktail bar can move 4 to 6 ounces per month. Herb 3, tulsi, holy basil. Market rate, $40 to $60 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from transplant. Grow notes, prefers heat. Direct sow or transplant after last frost. Cut and come again. One plant can produce through an entire season. Who buys it? Ayurvedic wellness brands, tea companies, yoga studios with retail shelves. Differentiator. Three distinct varieties, Vana, Rama, and Krishna, command different prices from specialty buyers. Herb 4, Lovage. Market rate, $35 to $50 per ounce fresh. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from division or transplant. Tastes like intense celery, hardy perennial. One plant comes back larger every year. Who buys it? Farm-to-table restaurants, genuinely rare in commercial supply chains. Common mistake? Letting it flower too early. Keep it cut to maintain leaf quality. Herb 5, Shiso, Perilla. Market rate, $25 to $45 per ounce. Time to harvest, 4 to 5 weeks from direct sow. Grow notes, both green and red/purple varieties. Self-seeds aggressively. Plant it once and manage the volunteers. Who buys it? Japanese restaurants, Korean BBQ restaurants, high-end sushi bars. Differentiator. Most distributors supply it inconsistently. Chefs who can't get it reliably will pay a premium for a local source. Herb 6, Epazolte. Market rate, $30 to $50 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from direct sow. Grow notes, drought tolerant, grows like a weed in warm climates. Strong, almost medicinal aroma. Who buys it? Authentic Mexican restaurants, especially those making traditional black beans and mole. Insight: nearly impossible to find fresh in most of North America. One bag to the right restaurant creates a long-term account. Herb 7, French tarragon. Market rate, $40 to $65 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from division. Grow notes, cannot be grown from seed, must be propagated from cuttings or division. This alone limits supply and keeps prices high. Who buys it? French and continental restaurants, culinary schools, specialty grocery stores. Important: only French tarragon has culinary value. Russian tarragon has almost none. Know the difference before you buy starts. We're halfway through, and I want to remind you, these aren't exotic crops that require a greenhouse or a PhD. Every herb we've covered so far, Dolores grew in raised beds behind the house in the suburbs. What she figured out was the market side. Let's keep going. The next 8 herbs include 2 that she told me were her highest margin crops year after year. Herb 8, Vietnamese coriander, Rau Ram. Market rate, $35 to $55 per ounce. Time to harvest, 4 to 6 weeks from cutting or division. Grow notes, loves moisture. Can be grown in containers sitting in water trays. Extremely fast-growing once rooted. Who buys it? Vietnamese and Southeast Asian restaurants. Growing demand from specialty food bloggers and recipe developers. Herb 10, lemon balm. Market rate, $25 to $40 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 4 to 5 weeks from transplant. Grow notes, mint family, so it spreads. Container growing is smart. Multiple harvests per season. Who buys it? Craft tea companies, herbalists, natural skincare formulators. High demand in the wellness market. Herb 11, hyssop. Market rate, $40 to $60 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from transplant. Grow notes, drought tolerant once established. Pollinators love it. Medicinal and culinary uses. Who buys it? Craft distillers, used in traditional liqueurs. Herbal medicine practitioners, specialty tea companies. Differentiator, virtually absent from mainstream supply chains. Distillers who use it pay well for reliable local supply. Herb 11, society garlic. Market rate, $30 to $50 per ounce fresh. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from division. Grow notes, ornamental and edible. Flowers and leaves both marketable. Low maintenance perennial. Who buys it? Specialty restaurants, edible flower markets, wedding florists who work with chefs. Herb 13, summer savory. Market rate, $30 to $50 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 4 to 5 weeks from direct sow. Grow notes, intensely aromatic, more complex flavor than common thyme. Annual. Who buys it? Artisan sausage makers, charcuterie producers, heritage breed butchers. Niche but loyal customer base. Herb 14, anise hyssop. Market rate, $35 to $55 per ounce dried. Time to harvest, 5 to 6 weeks from transplant. Grow notes, licorice anise flavor. Perennial. Pollinators and buyers both love it. Flowers and leaves both marketable. Who buys it? Tea blenders, confectioners, high-end bakeries, natural skincare companies. Herb 15. Orris root, Iris dramatica, the hidden crown jewel. Market rate, $75 to $90 per ounce, dried and ground. Time to harvest? Leaf greens, 6 weeks. Root harvest begins year 3 onward, but the leaves command premium in fresh botanical and floral markets immediately. Grow notes. Hardy perennial. Planted and forget it. The root is the highest value part, used as a fixative in natural perfumery and as a culinary flavoring in traditional Italian and North African cuisines. Who buys it? Natural perfumers, artisan gin distillers, traditional Italian food producers, botanical extract companies. Why it's the secret? Almost no backyard growers know this market exists. A single pound of dried orris root sells for over $1,000 wholesale. The setup investment is minimal. The payoff is years of passive income from a perennial that never stops producing. Now, I know some of you are watching this thinking, I don't have raised beds, I don't have a big yard, I don't know any restaurant buyers. So here's the stripped-down version Dolores actually recommends for anyone starting from scratch. Pick 3 herbs from this list. Just 3. Choose based on one criterion. Which ones have buyers you can physically walk to or call within 10 miles of your home right now? Start there. Grow them in containers on a patio or balcony. Grow 1 season's worth. Bring samples. Build 1 relationship. That's the entire model at its simplest. One grower in our community started with Tulsi in 5 5-gallon buckets and a single contract with a local tea shop. She's now supplying 6 accounts. It didn't start with a business plan. It started with 5 buckets. I've grown 11 of the 15 herbs on this list personally over the past 2 seasons. The 3 that surprised me most in terms of how easy they were to sell were lemon verbena, shiso, and hyssop. In every case, the first conversation with a buyer went something like, "You can actually get me this fresh, consistently?" And the answer was yes. That's the whole pitch. Consistency is what these buyers are paying for. Dolores once told me, the herb doesn't matter as much as the trust. If they know you'll show up, they'll keep ordering. She's been proving that for 32 years. If this list gave you even one herb you hadn't thought about before, hit subscribe. Every week I cover the specific, practical side of growing for income, the stuff that doesn't make it into mainstream gardening content. And leave a comment below. Which herb on this list are you going to try first? I read every single comment. Tell me what you're working with. Backyard, balcony, raised beds, and I'll tell you which herb fits your setup best.